Okay. Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to see about Azure Application Gateway and mainly about how to deploy it actually, and just try to understand some of the basic feature and also the important feature of Azure App Gateway offering. So what is App Gateway and all, just refer my article actually, but yeah, this video is mainly for just a deployment and a quick demonstration of App Gateway actually. So quick overview. So what we are going to achieve as part of this demonstration. So we have a application is running in a IaaS. So those applications are at this moment two VMs actually, and we have an application gateway through application gateway components and some of the Azure networking components. So we are going to retrieve the data from the applications where it's running in the virtual machines. So here normally we can access through the HTTPS and with your domain name. As I do not have my own domain name, I'm going to access this Azure Application Gateway through the public IP assigned to this app gateway. But if you have your own domain and your own certificate, you can bound all those things with this PIP of this app gateway. Okay, so yeah, basically this demonstration would be you are going to access the HTTP URL of this application gateway, and that application gateway will direct the request to the virtual machines where the application is running through its app component actually. Part of this we can understand what is like the application layer 7 load balancing, as we have the two different machine. When you access the one URL, so the content will be served from two different machines actually, that we can see as part of the demonstration. Okay, and it has the WAF features, and there's some good features like a health probe and the listener. So those things we can understand as part of the part of our demonstration. Okay. So now I logged into my Azure subscription actually. So I have my ARM template which I already placed. So you can download the template from the URL which I mentioned in the description. So this is my ARM template. So this has the networking components and and VNet, VMs, and associated NSGs to be created, and its public IP address, and its subnets designed and the VNets designed. So all those things is needed to run this demonstrate is like described um, in this Azure template. So the I have like my own PowerShell to enable that IaaS to create and place a default .html. So this will be the serving as the application actually for the demonstration purpose, and like some of the other internal components to run this whole exercise is being defined in the ARM template actually. Okay, so yes, I just saved this template and I'm going to home template and I'm going to deploy it actually. Yes, so you can see what are all the components that I have. Like I have I have VMs, Bastion service enabled, VNet, NIC network interfaces for those two virtual machines, and the public IP address needed for the app gateway, so that you don't need to assign any public IP address for the virtual machines, and the network security groups and app gateways. Yes, so all these components actually, and WAF to bound this application gateway. So all those things is defined here actually. All you need is pick your subscription. I am using my Visual Studio subscription. Resource group, I already created a resource group, so you can use your own resource group. So it's already in region. So these are all the user ID and passwords are needed to log into the virtual machines actually. Okay, so okay, and location and all, like okay, as it has I'm planning to utilize a resource group location, just go with a resource group location, so dynamically it will take it. And the VM size is B2MS. This is just for quick test, so I don't want to go with a higher configuration. And I have the two virtual machines, right? So I have two VM name is defined, and a Bastion service is the one is going to take the RDP. So I don't want to assign any public IP address to the virtual machine. So instead, through the Bastion, so I would like to access these VMs actually. and VNet and an NIC for that two virtual machines, and the public IP network security group again, and yeah, VNet IP demo app gateway. So that this is the app gateway to be created, and that WAF rules to associated with the app gateway. So these are all like is defined here actually. I'm just clicking this and purchase. Okay, the template is validated. Deployment is in progress. So now you can see the progress of each component is what's going to be deployed in this video. Yes, you can see like the basic components, WAF, and those things are created. Now it's creating the Bastion service and it's provisioning the app gateway. So we need to wait some more time uh, to uh, to be fully like provisioned. So the provision is still going on. It needs some time to create the VM and all associated components actually. Probably it will take maximum is like 10 minutes. Yeah, we can see once all this provision. Yes. Okay. So in this case, yes, now it is deployed actually. The provisioning to the infrastructure is done actually. So it's completed. So let's go and refresh what are the resources being created. Okay. So based on our template, so the VMs, two VMs, and the hard disk associated to the VM and the public IP, the WAF, and the gateway, app gateway. This is what we are going to see in the demonstration. And the Bastion to access these machines, VNet, IPs, network interface cards, and NSGs. So all these things are being created actually to run our quick demonstration. So next things before we run our demonstration, so let's update something in the file which is running in the IIS to see the difference. Okay, what we are accessing as part of the app gateway. So that way it would be like very easy for us to understand. Let's go and edit, log into the Bastion. So log into the Bastion node actually. I'm just going to update the HTML of like so I have my own HTML actually. Okay, I'm just going to place this HTML content and I'm going to update in the file which is running. File is being served by the IIS actually. Okay, so in the VM1, go to the folder. Okay, so open the default.html file under C inetbub www root actually. So edit this file. Okay, edit this file. So right now this has some like apps VM1 as a name. So instead I'm going to place a basic HTML and I'm saying this content is from the app server one. Okay, I'm just going to save this file and close it and do the same thing for the other file as well. So there you need to update the app server 2 as a HTML content. Okay, so here also I'm placing this HTML content, but as this is app server 2, so change the server as app server 2. So basically like yeah, some HTML files are placed in two different virtual machine IIS server. Both are exposed as a through the AT port actually. So these two applications together as like as one service is going to be accessed through the application act gateway. So in this case, as we are deploying in a two different server, app gateway will act as a load balancer to serve it from any of the server actually. Okay, so now we edited the two files. Okay, so now let's go to the app gateway Yes, and this is our first demonstration. So the app gateway has the two public IP address assigned actually. Okay, so under that we have two different backend servers is attached to that app gateway. So get this IP address and paste it here. So this is the HTTP. So as I do not have a certificate, I didn't go with the HTTPS, but yes, as it's a public IP, so you can access from everywhere. So yes, through HTTP. So I'm going to access this yeah, public IP address. Now it's saying the content is being served from the server 2. Okay, I'm going to refresh it again. Now the content is being served through the content 1 actually. So similarly, when I refresh every time with the same IP address, so the content is served from the backend different virtual machine. So similarly, if you have n number of VMs, you having your own application or like a number of app services is deployed, so your application is if it is attached to the app gateway, so it will like the app gateway will act as a load balancer and it will serve the content from the different virtual machines actually basically. So that's what the quick demonstration of our app gateway part what we are going to achieve. So this is a very basic thing. So let's go a little deeper actually how this is configured and all those things. As I just directly deployed my as you created all this infrastructure using my like ARM template, so you don't know like how that is connected or all those things, right? So let's understand that first. So this is app gateway. So these are all the app gateway having like a different settings. Okay, so this is describe each settings is going to be connected with each component actually. Okay, so the first thing is the backend pools. So the backend pool is there is some backend pool is created. See, so its name is something. So rule is associated is 1, target is 2 actually. Okay, let's edit this C, and if you look at actually this app gateway has one backend pool. So this backend pool having different virtual machines. So it has like you can attach app service, you can attach VM virtual machine scale set, IP address or fully qualified domain name or virtual machines. That means you can attach this stuff actually basically. So in this diagram you can see, so you can attach like to this backend pools, you can attach virtual machine, VM scale set, app service or any external servers. External servers in the sense like a hybrid kind of stuff. So if the services is running like somewhere in that on-prem, and you can access that through the app gateway as well. Okay, so this part. Okay, so this is a backend pool. So that's what is being attached. So we have like two virtual machines created, right? So one is with the so virtual machine IPs 110.0.1.4 and another one is 10.0.1.5 actually. If you go here, okay, if you go here, I can see like so VM virtual machine 1, its IP address 10.0.1.4 and another one is and 10.0.1.5. So now the thing is actually so it doesn't have any public IP address, okay, and both does not have any public IP address as these two VMs are defined as a backend pool with this app gateway. Whatever the application is deployed over there, it is being served through the application gateway. So this is first step of like first component backend pool actually. Okay, so let's see the another next component. So now we saw about like what is backend pools actually. Let's see the next components. Go back to the resources app gateway HTTPS settings actually. So here we are defining the port. So our application is running in the 80 port of these two machines. Okay, in the IIS. It is by default port is 80 as it is running in the IIS. Default IIS HTTP set port is 80 actually. So now we are saying actually okay, so this port okay, I just need to configure this app gateway to consider this 80 port of these two backend pools. Backend pools means the two VMs is defined under this pool actually. So we identified two VMs and we told the app gateway okay which port you need to listen, okay, that's thing, and then like the front end IP configuration. See the front end IP configuration, that means now my application app gateway type public, so publicly exposed, this can be accessed over the internet at anywhere by accessing this application, this public IP address actually. Okay, so here if you have your own domain, yes, you can attach your domain instead of IP address. So that you don't need to use IP address. Instead, you can use like my https dot colon double slash mydomain.com. Such a way you should be able to access. And the third component, yes, front end IP address. So when the user access this IP address from your browser, and these two VMs will be the application is deployed from this backend pool will be called through this HTTPS port actually. And listeners is the place where it will try to map all the things as together actually. Okay, so front-end IP, what is the front-end IP we assign to the public IP address, and what port? Okay, with this public IP address with this port, if that comes actually, then yes, it's a basic. There are two types of listeners, listener types, a basic and multi-site, that I can explain in that article. Okay, so it is bounding, attaching all these three configurations together, and then only like when the browser has had any request actually, then it will routed to this app gateway, and this app gateway will routed to its backend pool actually. Okay, and rules, yes. So this again, right? This rule actually is again it is a bounding another level along with the listeners. We defined the listeners, we defined the HTTP, we defined the backend pools actually, and finally we all need to be attached with this particular rule actually. Okay, if this listener is being called, then okay, what backend? So this backend need to be attached to this listener, and this HTTP settings need to be bounded with this listener actually. So this is another level binding mechanism to identify when the user hit any public hit app gateway's public IP address, where I need to go, which backend pool I need to consider, and what port I need to be listen actually. So again it has two stuff, right? So like the backend pool and the redirection. So as it's a very basic example, we are just using the direct backend pool stuff. The redirection basic in the sense, yes, okay. So it has different settings that we can cover in a different video. But yes, so listener is binding the list of backend pools, HTTP settings, and rules actually all together in a one rule. So this rule will be executed along with this app gateway. Okay, these are all like a backend component actually. And health probe. So health probe is like right now we do not have it. So health probe will help you to make sure as it is acting as like a load balancer stuff to that app server, right? So this will monitor the health of that particular application. For example, if you attached in this example we attached it to VMs as a like a server to serve the application. But if you assume that like if we added more than 5 or 10, if something is down actually, so app gateway will gently remove that node until it gets healthy actually. For example, in that particular VM, if IIS is down, or like that it went for restart unexpectedly, or something was happened, so it gently remove that one from the health pool actually. So the request will not go into that particular machine. Instead, the other remaining four or whatever that the number of nodes will be serve that request actually. So that is the idea of like to show a quick overview of like what the app gateway is like serving. So this is like important major feature actually, but it has like some of the other features which I described in that document, but that is not covered in this demonstration. And yes, so far we saw about like that the load balancing capacity and how it is being redirected the request, okay, in through app gateway for your browser based application. And the next level actually, okay, so you can attach the WAF rules along with this. So WAF rules in the sense, yes, it has like it has its own standard actually. Open World Wide Web active server pages rules. There are a lot of rules, like for example like ASQL injection and Unix command injection. So those are all can be avoided if something is injected through your query string, or something is injected through your request body actually. So if you enable all these rules, so those rules will be enforced. For example, like SQL command sequence detected, if any of your like data posting to your application in your request body, if it has like a SQL statements or SQL injectable statement or anything, if something is detected, that won't allow you to perform that operation to perform with that particular system. It will immediately block. It will show like app gateway error 502 or 503 something error actually. Okay, so you will not perform that particular operation. So you can attach that WAF also along with this, so that you can feel like your application is more secure. Two of the important things you need to understand, like first is, yes, it is enabled with the protection mode. Okay, prevention mode, in the sense it will detect and it will not allow the further request if the request has a malicious request actually. Okay, and like some of the settings. Okay, so it won't allow more than 128 kilobytes of data in each body, so that is each body request. So this is more secure way actually, so that you can use like a um, multi-part data identifier to transmit your data over the channel. And yes, custom rules, if you really need some of the exceptions, for example, slash your app.com slash app and slash some particular route need exceptions, you can add those a number of exceptions, but that I will cover in a separate video. So basically, yes, like this WAF rule is give you the additional security to your application layer, so that all the malicious stuff can be detectable in the app layer itself. It will not send that request or like that malicious stuff to your backend virtual machine to process. That's a important thing actually. You can quickly see how I attached actually. So if you go here and web application firewall, so the WAF rule was created by the ARM template, and it is associated here. So I just associated whatever we created. It's a very basic version attached with the web application firewall stuff. Okay, yeah. So these are all like overall like quick demonstration of what like our application gateway serves overall in a, hands-on template actually, uh, with the WAF, and like and you can understand what is the components is being used and what are the features we achieved as a very minimum on this demonstration. Thank you.